She was, at a point she had to be admitted and being administered the IV, skuma maji and the pain. So the people who actually, it's really painful the first couple of days, then let's say they just survive through it. It's a painful experience for some. Most of us don't look forward to that particular time. So I can tend to imagine how this woman felt, or just alikuwa na feel during those 12 years of bleeding. And there's the whole bit of blood coming out all the time. I think sometimes I really not relate, but I try to really be in her shoes, because menstrual cycle for me every month is torture.
You see, there will be proliferation and whatever of the uterus, and there will be abnormal uterine bleeding. But generally, those diseases which are caused by hormonal imbalances are known as dysfunctional uterine bleeding.
People, Nia Jenny, karibuni sana to the Bible Stories Show. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. At whatever time you're watching us, karibuni sana to the newly refurbished Refocus Studios. So nataka editor wangu kwanza hapo pige picha moja baridi mpya ya Refocus Studios. Now you guys will be used to adoration ya Refocus Studios. We have our new online platforms on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube as you are watching us right now at Refocus Media. First and foremost, kama kawaida, a shout out to our sponsors, Swagline Cloth Stores Kenya. Shout out kwanza saizi waliongeza caption pale mwisho Kenya. They're on Instagram. The account is very new. Niko show kifungo tona hapo ni mpya at SLCS_KE. Yes, make sure you follow them. Wako na mali safi, t-shirts, hoodies, clothes na t-shirt manze. Lakini inakuja, wamesema iko kwa gari na kam. And let's enjoy the show today. So today we'll be talking about madam tu mwingine hapo mimi by the way wasiwali ni nice, like history inapita kwa tu juu by the way alikuwa kwa process ya kupitwa, but alifanya mambo. No, madam tunamwongelea leo. She jina yake hatujui, but before tuingilie story, niko na watu wazito like wazito. Today we have wazitos in the house, doctors. So I want them to do the intros. I'm going to start. We have a lady again in the house. Again. The other one's the daktari. We have another daktari. You never know. Maybe this is going to be a hospital soon. Yeah. So Cinnamon, she'll introduce herself. Yeah.
Thank you, Gerald. Do I use the same intro? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, from wherever you are watching and listening us to. My name is Cinnamon Nyagaka. I'm a 5th year medical student. In the next 3 months, hopefully, I'll be in my final year. They always say, as I am a daughter, I am a sister. Hopefully, crossing our fingers to pick up, we'll be a mother soon, yeah? But, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to the discussion today, and I hope we'll have fun and interact, and we'll also be able to get feedback from our listeners and watchers today. Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yes. On the other side, we have bana kwanza ni YouTuber. Guys, lot kuna YouTuber in the house. We have a YouTuber in the house. He's called, okay, before him introduce, akona YouTube channel. Piga subscription. Inaitwa Medical Content. So search to Medical Content on YouTube. Iyo account ya kwanza iko hapo. Make sure mse apiga 1000 subscribers, man. We can do this. Kuleni subscription, alafu ita nice. So wacha introduce musikie good things about him. Wallace.
My name is Wallace, as you said. Wallace Chege Munyiri. I'm second year. Afadhali we have a long way to go, but we will make it, and Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Hey, maneno machache. Cool one, maneno machache.
Daktari ako very humble.
Yeah. Hey, did you know this side of Wallace? Lakini today tunapiga story ama namna gani guys? Yeah. So we now get into the story. Tuone what happened. So Yesu alikuwa ametoka wapi?
Capernaum, I guess.
Capernaum.
We used to call it Capernaum.
Capernaum.
Unless there's a different pronunciation. The same one.
Ndio.
Yeah.
Alikuwa ametoka huko akavuka sea.
Sea of Galilee, yes.
Yeah. But the guys message but mshingia kwa ship meli hivi mkaingia kwa maji mkaelea majini.
I've had the pleasure of doing it. I remember there's a time we had gone to kuna Wasini Island. It's just there, Kenda Punguti, I guess there, and I was terribly seasick. It was very terrible. It's a real thing actually. It was a terrible experience. Wouldn't want to do that again. Very terrible experience. But you get used to it. It's fun, but would I ever do it again? No.
Wallace, shinga melini.
Just a boat.
Hey.
Lake Naivasha.
Yeah. Lake Naivasha na Juana. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boat. Okay.
A boat, not a ship.
Oh, yeah.
I said a boat. Yeah. But I'm not a big fan of water.
Yeah. Wewe maji nayo no. Mimi napenda maji guys. I love water. So wametoka hiyo side nyingine, wamevuka Sea of Galilee. Wakaenda hiyo side nyingine. So kuland hivi they meet. Kuna kiongozi fulani. So it's told that alikuwa a synagogue leader. Synagogue. My guys, now tukule pause. Kuna kitu interesting hapa. Watu wa synagogue walikuwa wanachukia Yesu na roho yao moja. Like Christ would never have told them anything, like Yesu akisimama hivi wanaangalia side nyingine juu the way they detested the Christ, you know. Siji nyinyi mnaonaje like what Jesus does here, akuonyesha like nyinyi mnanichukia sana Mr. Historian. Do you think we should love our haters? Just squeezy unaonaga watu wakipost to anything haters, kuna jina inekago hapo wasikia haters nini, like watu watakagi story na ma haters. Do you think we should love our enemies? Do you think it's that easy? Kwanza,
of course it's not.
Can go fast.
It's not easy to love somebody who doesn't love you back. But inabidi. It's the right thing to do. Because you can't say you have love of God and you don't love your fellow men.
Yeah.
So
lakini si rahisi.
Si rahisi. Si rahisi.
Should love them all.
Exactly.
Yes, we see now.
I'm trying to put myself in Jairus's shoes. Probably he was different because we always have this mentality ya kuweka watu tuna assumingi because probably they are part of this group we don't like, so tuna assume watu they think they have the same mentality, but probably had different views and opinions towards Jesus. And I'm trying to think about it in our setting sahi. We have this group of people we don't like, ama tusha form a perception about them. Na kuna tu mtu moja who's trying to get out of that mentality and try to get on somebody's good side. So I think over time nimekuwa na mentality of not trying to associate a person with who they work with. Probably ni circumstances.
Wisdom guys, wisdom.
Probably ni circumstances. But si kila mtu anakuwa mbaya. Yeah, so in the sense of trying to love our haters, probably they're not even haters. Tunadhani ni haters, but maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just positive criticism or something. Maybe I'm not so sure, but yeah.
Tuandikeni kwa comment, tell us what do you think about that. Alafu kama umefika hapa this far, kuna subscription button hapo. Guza hiyo kitu bana. Tunaenda 1000 sasa. We are heading into 1000 subscribers. We are going high, guys. Yeah, so piga subscription as we go on. Sasa Jairus amekuja anasema mtu wangu ni sick man, come nisaidie. Unaona? So Christ now he's on his way now to Jairus house now. And sasa kwa hii process sasa ndio madam ana come through. And like madam sielewi, but wase mimi imaneno na faith bado inaingia kwa kichwa. Is still getting into the head because ukijaribu kuresonate na vitu zenye watu walifanya kwa Bible. Mimi swadanganyagi guys. Jwenye mimi like best mimi napenda ku approach vitu vile ziko. Huyu madam alienda akajita mkutano. Akasema okay, in the book of Luke guys. So the lady alikaa kajita mkutano akasema now we are given a background that alienda kwa madaktari, alikuwa ametumia pesa zake zote, all she had to cure this illness that she had. Sasa hapa ndio daktari anaingililia. So hii ugonjwa iko na jina tu ingine kali, and it's affecting people today, by the way, ladies to be precise. And wacha daktari awaambie kuihusu. Mimi nitarusha mama jina hapo karibu. Let daktari tell us what exactly this lady was going through.
So firstly, to start with, it's very hard to make a clinical diagnosis of a disease with just one symptom. So generally it's called AUBs, abnormal uterine bleedings, and we have a myriad of diseases which can cause that. Like we can have polyps, we can also have adenomyosis, we have leiomyomas, which is now the fibroids. Those are common. Those are very common. Then you can have, it can be malignancy, it can be, say, a problem of the ovaries, it can also be there are very many. Also iatrogenic. When I say iatrogenic disease, I mean caused by medical professionals. Say like in the times we live, you can have an estrogen enzyme, estrogen hormone therapy. That can cause abnormal uterine bleeding. That can cause. So I think fibroids, the leiomyomas, and leiomyomas are very hard to treat, especially in those days. But nowadays, we have some even you can have what I call a myectomy to remove those fibroids which are found in the inner layer of the uterus. So I think probably she was suffering from that, or maybe just a hormone imbalance.
Kula pause. Hapo kwa hormonal imbalance. Nilisoma kitu pahali that pia kuna vile dawa zenye wanakunywa. Okay, sijui you can explain it better. But kuna dawa zenye sijui mtu akikunywa zina thin and sijui kama ni vessel ama ni the manjia za damu manjia za damu and like sasa like kukua maybe na tension zina rupture then zinatoka damu. Kindly go on.
I think the most commonly used drugs which can bring about hormonal imbalances are oral contraceptives. Maybe drugs which are like progestins. They are like hormones. So ukiziaka kwa mwili ina assume uko na hormones na una. So like if they are hot, they can be pro-estrogenic drugs. So they act like estrogen. So estrogen is a hormone produced naturally by the body. Okay, so if you have those, you see there will be proliferation and whatever of the uterus, and there will be abnormal uterine bleeding. But generally those diseases which are caused by hormonal imbalances are known as dysfunctional uterine bleeding.
So yeah. you know exactly huyu madam alikuwa na go through and yeah. Kuna hizi vitu, okay, see vitu actually there's this thing that the ladies have, the menstrual cycle. And sijui kama mko na ma girlfriends hapo nje, mimi alama ya dukuduku. So the experience that ladies always go through at around that time. Hey, kuna story nilikuwa napiga na mdems fulani. No dem alikuwa ananiambia aje ati pain inaweza relieve the pain that they go through that time. Ati ni towards a very big painkiller. So madam pain enya alikuwa know that means alafu saa yake si normal, yake it's on the other end, like ilikuwa continuous, right? So to use cinnamon, unaona, can you see, we can't explain, but you can explain it better. Hiyo uchungonyo madam alikuwa anaipitia ilikuwa inakaaje? Juu mimi nikisoma hapa sielewi.
Well, daktari has given us a very good context. Amejaribu kupaint a picture of ideally AUB, how it looks like. So personally, I've not experienced the whole fibroid situation, but I can give maybe context of the menstrual cycle of what a lady goes through. It's, of course, super generalize because people have a smooth cycle during, because ideally menstruation occurs from like 3 to 7 days. They're about a normal menstrual cycle. Pain, it is the ones. I think I had a friend back in high school who yake ilikuwa mbaya because she was ilikuwa point she had to be admitted and being administered the IV, you know, na sukuma maji and the pain. So the people who actually it's really painful the first couple of days, then let's say they just survive through it. It's a painful experience for some. Most of us don't look forward to that particular time. So I can tend to imagine how this woman felt, or just alikuwa na feel during those 12 years of bleeding. There's the whole bit of blood coming out all the time. I think sometimes I really not relate, but I try to really be in her shoes, because menstrual cycle for me every month is torture. You know, time probably you miss classes, you just tend to seclude yourself. Unakaa tu kwa kitanda, no, don't to speak anyone, because he talk about the hormone, alianga about the hormonal imbalance. Kuna bit of mood swings, everyone is just kila mtu anakubo. So it's a bit about the discomfort you're feeling, the whole feeling of you're just feeling unclean, you don't feel like you can actually go out there and present yourself. But that is what we are trying to beat at the moment. There's a whole period stigma which comes, but I guess that's another discussion for another day. But this woman for 12 years really is not a small thing. The pain I can imagine she was encountering, the whole bit of the societal stigma she was facing from people, because there's this notion also try to talk about, even when women go through the whole menstrual cycle, and they're really perceived as unclean and people not to be with around that moment. Your situation defines you. So the whole period stigma people face, and even in Kenya, I think we all know this story. This parliamentarian, this woman MP Gloria Odroba, she was trying to beat that, because why are women being seen less of women just because they are on their periods, and why are they like wanaonekana nika they are weak, they can't do anything at that moment. And that is what we are trying to beat here right now, and give women the same attention we would, even if they are on their periods and if they're not. So imagine just this woman just for 12 years having to go through that in that society back then when it was very patriarchal.
It's
a bit better. Your time at it was really bad. So yeah, guys,
tukuliani pause hapo. We're going to take a quick short break. It's short. Madam ilikuwa no, this one is a short one. We were going to take a quick short break, then I'll see you on the other side. guys, karibuni sana. Hiyo mali mbona, make sure mmepurchase mali safi. So hapa zilikuwa zimeshika, story ni tamu. I hope you are enjoying it so far. Kama umefika hapa, subscription bado tunataka ma guys, kuleni hiyo button, sawa? Finya tu hapo as we go on. Sasa hapa hivi tunaona madam amejita mkutano, ameona mazejo hii mambo haiwezi. Ameangalia left right center, pesa zake madaktari wamekula huko, umesikia madaktari wamesema shida zenye alikuwa anapitia. Man, madam alikuwa tu mess, life yake ilikuwa tu messed up. But kuna hope. Akaona sasa hapa ndo akasikia fununu kuna mtu bana umse bana anafanya mambo, and when you go to this guy, he'll come through for you, you know. And that's where she makes the bold step. Now it's bold in this sense that in Leviticus 15 verse 19 to 31. So hapo hivyo tunapatiwa background tu mzuri baridi murwa ya vile like God Christ Yesu alipeana hizo guidelines of how when a lady is during her menstruation, how she should go about, how she should just stay, like tumeambiwa na cinnamon that your time dem anasiga tu aji isolate tu away from the people. So I think now this is interesting that pia Mungu alikuwa anajua hizi vitu. So like akiandika hii ni kama si wali overdo. No. Si wali overdo, like Mungu alikuwa amepatiana guidelines of how of which it now after now reading this, now it seems more realistic based on what Cinnamon has told us of how it goes down. And say tunajua tu wali overdo. Kwanza kuna historically guys, hiyo tutachapa siku nyingine, lakini nilisikia ati unaona vitu zilikuwa zimeandika hizo laws, si waliongezeaga zao juu kitu kama sijui putting the laws on your arms and on your forehead. So say Mungu alikuwa na maana tu yao, lakini hasa wakichukua literal. So they wrote laws, they had binded it on their hands, na wengine wamefunga hapa. Hiyo ni go to Jerusalem today utawapata wako nayo. Interesting, right?
Very.
Lakini guys, we hatufai ku overdo. Vitu za Mungu ni rahisi, hatufai ku overdo. But then say walikuwa wame overdo. No. So like my ladies walikuwa wame kama kuna stigma ilikuwa pro max, but then now this is stigma pro max. Juu ladies walikuwa wamekanyagiwa chini, like they couldn't speak. And at this point you gonjo ulikuwa ukishikwa na unafungiwa huko, mbona ndo uishi peke yako huko. It's like more of like leprosy, the way you guys mlikuwa mnafungiwa tu huko, you just live mnaambiwa kaini tu huko, then food mnalishwa ina some terrible way. So at this point shida yenye ilikuwa kwa kichwa ya this lady, it was quite deep. And now this just drives us now to the mental health issue that she was going on, she was going through. First ako lonely for 12 good years, guys. What do you think about that?
So when umeanza vile Leviticus
dude, now
your time being in the Jewish culture and all that, so let's just paint that mental picture of how she was feeling. So I'm trying to think, because by the time people know your situation, ni kama everyone knows your situation, like unajua they know this woman is experiencing bleeding, she just has a lot going on sayo. So per what they had said initially, per what the Bible said, that time is if you're having any discharge of blood, unafaa kujitenganisha from the rest of the people and just start. But now as long as you have that discharge happening, lazima uko umejitenganisha, sindo? So aside from that, anyone who touches you mwenye na ku interact na wewe, and yeye mwenye anafaa kurudi home aoge akwe msafi, and they will be deemed unclean till the evening. So anyone who didn't want to associate with this type of woman, like mwenye na have this abnormal uterine bleeding so cause pia wenyewe watakuwa implicated in that, and they have to go through like hizo procedures according to the customs. So you can imagine the mental torture that this woman faced. in herself like being lonely because none of her friends or none of like people family members was able to associate with her, so she was very lonely. Maybe alikuwa in her prime, she wanted to get married, have kids, like experience to the world out there, but she was unable to do this. So I can imagine she had a lot she was not able to experience in her age. So I'm thinking 12 years, so probably 40, maybe alikuwa 40 is by the time she was meeting Jesus, so 40 minus 12, that's around 28 years. So maybe life happens that particular time, maybe in her 30s or something, I'm assuming. So she had really missed out on a lot of things in her life because of the whole seclusion and the whole discrimination towards her. So the mental torture was intense, I can imagine.
Yes. Yeah. Now Wallace, let's look now at the depression. Woo. Kila mtu says anaongea story na depression. Afu goja PTSD inamaanisha gani?
Post traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, utarushi hiyo katikati lakini depression. Nimekumbuka kuna PTSD na depression. So depression, can you paint us a picture of the level of depression that this lady was going through?
I think loneliness and depression go hand in hand. When you are secluded, and I don't see the reason why you should seclude people because of discharge. Isn't blood? When men go to war and kill, they spill blood and they are heroes. But when women spill the blood which gives birth life, they are secluded. That isn't good. It isn't.
Cameraman is clapping at the background.
Blood is blood. Okay, so she must have been really depressed, and there is also the issue of financial torture. Ooh, yes. The society is looking down on you. Maybe even she wasn't married.
Definitely kwa sababu hapa yenyewe guys hiyo time wase walikuwa wanataka mali safi, and at this point she was not mali safi. So
okay.
Wow.
So you see that's very bad, and so imagine there is that, and then there is the pressure from your friends. If she had, I'm assuming if she had the childhood friends, maybe they had already married, they had kids. So you see the pressure. So it must have been very, very hard for her. Very, very hard.
So it was quite a traumatic experience, right?
Yeah.
Now, after all that, now the lady now decides to now this was a do or die for her. It was a do or die for her, guys. Sijui kama mshijipata place. Somebody was asking me the other day, can you die for something? Can you die for something? Unaweza kufia kitu? And ukipata kitu yenye unaweza kufia, wanasemaga yenyewe mimi nimekukufia. I've died for you, my dear. I've died for you.
They say for men, something that must kill a man.
Something must kill a man.
A poet. And most of the time it's
why die for someone and Christ died for us?
Why? That's from Dr. And now hapa hivi the lady now, we've seen how ametengwa, like she cannot be seen around people actually. And at this point now, I don't know how she got to the crowd. Now she's in the crowd and she's like, najua nikijaribu kufika pale jaribu kuongea, I won't, haiwezi. So he decides to do a move that even me, if you could ask me right now, I'll get perspectives from my guests. Your movie ilikuwa kali, man. Like she decided to go and what now? I don't know what came to her head that said like nikishike ngo I'll be good. What do you think about that?
First of all, I think what she did was very bold, because her situation rendered her not to step out in public, and it was, can we say, illegal for her to be seen in that setting. Illegal, so she took a risk, but that also reminds us that even as we have faith is also a bit of taking of a risk as Christians, sana, because we live in a setting, because our religion, every religion nakwanga na their own perceptions. So even us taking a risk and proclaiming that we are Christians and we love God also puts us out there in place like we are bound to get attacks, we are bound to get suspicion, you're bound to harass because you're believing in some type of thing. Even when you believe something, when you proclaim I'm a staunch believer of something, you're open to criticism, something not the good kind. So she took a bold step in stepping out and actually believing that I just want to touch his garment, Evo too, and I'll be healed. So she took a bold risk and went ahead in that crowd and everyone and just took that bold step.
Now, put it this way. Now, if it was you, what would you have done? I'm gonna say my guys. Mimi, Jordan be like based on the character that I have. Mimi ningesema mi bana, mi stand na mikamna niwa muniwe Yesu tuseme tu kweli I need help. Mimi nataka kusaidiwa.
But imagine Gerald, ushajipata cause this story by the way I really like it cause it paints a picture of how many times we have found ourselves in desperate situations. I'm sure we have, maybe economically, studies, because of studies, all the students who are watching this, call us 2 weeks to exam, semester umekuwa tuki. It's just the ghetto, so we story like in a pena like a situation where we have all found ourselves in desperate situations, and this woman, having spent all her money, she was broke, she was depressed, she was like she was literally hanging by a thread. So imagine she had no options. Nika nasimanga, what's the worst that can happen? If you should shot kwa day mama something, what's the worst? As ni rejection. What's the worst that could happen? So alikuwa in that situation, what's the worst that can happen? So cameraman alichekesha, but anyway, what's the worst that could happen if in that situation ange patkana me,
because she had lost
everything, she had nothing to cling on to. So even in us, when we want to when we really love something or when we really want something to happen in our lives, unajua tuko na umeweigh all the options, umeona tu ni moja pekee inaweza nitoa out of this in this wretched situation. So that was her. We are willing to do that, take that risk. Nini mbaya, what will happen? So maybe she was curious as to what would happen, like if I just touch the helm, like even
but then like now this just tells me of how the creativity that she had. Msea uliona tu nguo
ana si mkono unataka tu nguo, so that was something else.
But there's a fact now about kushika nguo during their time, like it was a show of respect, reverence. So at that point it was, I think now it makes sense. She was like, hey bana unaona tu nguo. Wallace, so what do you think about the move that she made?
That's very very bold of her. And I think she was ready to risk it all, as she has said. What is there to lose? So even I think there was a crowd, so the press must have been very big, so she was like squeezing herself through. She touched very many people, so and I know at the end of the day those people were feeling very unclean, and but she didn't care what whether she would make them unclean or all she cared was get to Jesus. Get to Jesus, touch his garment, and I'll be healed. So the faith she had, I think it's only the faith which was leading her. Even the faith in her was even more than her boldness. It's the faith.
Now guys, there's something dramatic that happens after she touches the garments, but we'll get to that. We're going to take a quick break, then I'll see you on the other side. guys, karibuni sana. If you have reached this far na hujafanya subscription, that's a mistake, guys. Finya button ya subscription bana, let's grow this thing. Ama namna gani? Now we were here the after she touched the garment, she felt like something had left her. Now she's a new being, you know. And I can feel the refreshment, you know. Bana ushikuwa pali congested alafu ukaenda kwa fresh air. Now I tend to think that's how she felt, because mwili wako umesikia tu uchungu the whole of your life, then at this moment you feel something different. Now at this point Jesus feels like something has happened here. Something. Jesus was going somewhere, but hii nayo amefeel no, kuna kitu imefanyika hapa ma guys. Muniambie nani amenishika. And I was like Upper Peter now, guys, we will talk about I think we need to do some mini swords on Bible characters. Now sijui kama mnajua Peter alikuwa nani. Peter alikuwa mtu mmoja mnoma, like he's now the common mwananchi. Now Peter was just a common mwananchi, you know. Now msali got within the laws, you know. It reminds me of ile time alikatana masikio.
Yeah.
So I had that. Unaona uko kwao mtu akikukosea you just kata the masikio kidogo. Do you think we can do that, guys, in Kenya? Like muki nikosea nachukua tu swadi na kufanyia hivi.
So umeenda jail.
First of all, why was he carrying a sword? That's what I was.
Unamsema anakuwa amejiprotect. Peter alikuwa mtu tu amejiprotect.
Kama ni mtu alikuwa na character development kwa hiyo Bible, it's Peter. Toka mbali.
Peter was the guy. Peter Jadi mimi nakage hivi na nyenye Peter.
Toka mbali.
Imagine say umekaa hivi na watu. Alafu watu wanakuuliza ati unajuana na Yesu. Then hao watu wanaweza kuweka kwa risk ya kuliwa. Mimi siwezi sema hata kama nilikuwa nimetembea na Yesu miaka yangu yote. Siwezi. So Peter standing for himself was being human. You know. Yeah. And at this point he's being realistic. That Jesus is asking who has touched me? Peter akafungua mdomo akasema enye hadi wewe kuna venye
natubeba hapa. Ufala.
Well, so do you think about that?
You know, Jesus was like a celeb back in the days. So obviously you expect people to be like
touching
him, and like the disciples are there preventing people to touch Jesus. But I don't know how herself managed to sneak and touch Jesus. Then Jesus stopped. See, he was walking towards Jairus' house. So he stopped because he felt power has left him and asked that question. And Peter is there like, what do you mean? Can't you see people are struggling here to touch you? But Jesus didn't mean like a physical touch. It's more of a touch with faith, and part of him left him. Okay, so that's what he meant. So hata kama mimi ningekuwa Peter, hata mimi ningeuliza what do you mean? Nani amekushi? So unaona watu wana struggle kukushika hapa. So but Jesus knew. But I don't think Peter knew what Jesus really
meaning, right? Yeah. And that's good, you know, like being ordinary, being okay. But hey, hizi vitu zinasema you need an upako. If Peter had an upako, John say I think there's a point also Jesus was like get away from me. I was like, hey. Anyway, Peter is a big story of another day. We'll look at it. Yeah. And now after Jesus wameanza kwa inquisitive na ameshika Yesu nini. Now the lady now gets the courage because he felt like, hey guys, sijui kama mshizo amejistori hizi miracles, you know, like mtu akiguzago hivi, okay, like when a person is healed, say the excitement, man. Yeah. I can feel it. We've seen the pain that she was going through, and at this point she feels like I'm a new being. Says vitu zangu ziko sawa, vitu zina smile, man. She was like, hey, because if I put it, if it was an African setup, the lady would have start ululating. Is it called ululating?
Yeah.
It's called ululating. Yeah. Angeza kupiga zile alililili manze Johnny we. Man, rather safi guys. Hey, so the lady now finds the courage to now coming telling them, hey, nyeni me, miss me. Because at this point, I think now she was okay now. And I came to realize that when Jesus heals, yake ni sure, complete. I think we should look at how watu wanachezwa hapa nje na madaktari. Juu madam Bedha alichezwa na madaktari, ametumia pesa kwa madawa, miti shambas. Guys, ukipatana na mtu majuu kuprescribe hizo vitu anakupatia vitu zingine, unakunywa mwarubaini na uponi. Hey guys, what do you think about the deception of what the pain people are going out through, yeah? And yet kuna mtu anajua Yesu ndio mponyaji, is the healer. What do you think about the deception that people are going through out here?
I was reading on Twitter the other day. It was about so it was do doctors before they actually perform maybe a surgery or they want to initiate therapy to a patient, kuna kuomba. When I'm rotating in hospitals, as zingine I see the surgeons pray before they start on surgery. At least they believe in a higher power before they actually start the process itself. So I was reading through the comments and they were like, as doctors we only treat, but it's God who actually heals. Yeah, so us yetu tuna perform to what we know, then the rest is up to him. So as in probably I'm looking at the situation where God wanted to really prove something through this woman. So among the doctors, among the quack doctors she was visiting, maybe some of them were real.
Nice.
Maybe some of them were actually good doctors at that particular time. But now God wanted to relay a certain message, or just the reason why we are reading this story right now is God wanted us to give some bit of, to elevate what his nature and to elevate this whole thing about faith. Because I think faith is a bit abstract, like haielewekangi sana. So maybe God making this situation, making this woman go through this situation was a way of talking to us in this modern world. Or just relaying a message to his people and just telling them about, if you really want to believe in me, you have to have this thing called faith and have trust in him fully. So she had really gone through a number through this to these people who are claiming they will heal her situation, but she was hopeful. Maybe this woman had the chance to just give up, probably just stay in her house. Pia vile alisikia Yesu anapita hapa, angeamua tu okay guys, I'm just done with this treatment. Like acha tu nikae tu kwa nyumba, I just wait till my fate, ile siku Mungu ataamua tu kunichukua. But she did not lose her last bit of hope. So she had gone through a lot, but her clinging to God and her clinging to whatever was true and what she had believed in was a lot. Also, to build up on the question you had asked Wallace earlier, on the sense of the way Jesus was being dramatic, in the sense that who touched me, nani ameniguza, and like the whole people was like leaning towards him. Pemi, I was like, okay, the first time reading that story, I was like, okay, wow, God, yani Mungu aliona tu, yani nani amenishika, and it's a whole crowd. But the sense that this woman had faith, even maybe it was maybe mixed, because alikuwa in her head, I was like, if I just touch his garment, I will be healed. So faith yake si ati ilikuwa ame fully believe in Christ and fully believe in God's healing power. It was more of a superstition in her way, like I just touch his garment, I'll be fine. But in the sense that she was clinging to God in true faith than the rest of the other people who are just kumskuma too, like nothing. She was the one who truly touched Jesus and she was able to get healed at that moment. So this woman really teaches us a lot about faith. As in we think we have the faith in God and Christ, but maybe it's just distorted by the whole superstition and all that. But this woman really is something for all of us to just look at. Yeah.
Wallace. Each time, what do you think? Jesus. She has. I don't know if you can add or not. She said that Jesus now the fact that he acknowledged that something had happened. It was quite big, and he was trying to show something, you know, like at this point tulikuwa tushasema ilikuwa patriarchal society, you know. Watu walikuwa na kandamiza, if that's a word, kukandamiza kina dada, you know. And Jesus now coming to tell them, guys, bana, mimi ni wa kila mtu, you know, like and it's quite interesting that at this point Jesus called her daughter. Kiangalia interactions imagine there's also a point where Jesus now was like alikuwa ni kuna time alita mamake woman, right?
Yeah.
But at this point huyu madam akumuita woman, alimuita daughter, your faith imekufanya ukue hot. I don't, can you do something on what Jesus was trying to portray to the masses?
I think Jesus was trying to show that he wasn't that he was not a misogynist. He's not like you know, if he was, which he wasn't, the woman would have touched him, then he would have said, "Get away from me, woman," or something like that. Something bad. But he shows her love, compassion. God is caring. That is all, and is caring. In fact, calls her my daughter. This shows even she wasn't that old. She wasn't of a great age. Maybe their 40s. As she had said, maybe their 30s, late 30s there, but her life was bad at first. But after that, I see a woman, a beautiful woman, getting up, going back to the society.
Uski alingara, alioga karudi.
Nice. So I think she must have had a very good life. If maybe there is a book which tells us the account of her after healing, it must be very wonderful. Very wonderful.
Right? Yeah, but we're told these guys will meet them in heaven.
Yeah.
Hey, madam, them that are tuongee story bana, niambie, how was it? So
also to just build up on what Wallace has said. Jesus' proclamation of this woman, kumwambia ati, my daughter, you have been healed, nini. I think it was just an act of him bringing her back to society. Like, he was aware of the stigma and the discrimination she was facing the past 12 years. So him actively and just speaking up in front of the whole crowd, ni kama kufanya watu aware, like, this woman is now fully healed. Like, hakuna kumbagua anymore. She's now clean, and just restoring her back to her place as a woman to society, as a healthy, normal functioning woman, and just bring that to light. Kasa wenye maybe the people who are interested before na sasa maybe wenye walikuwa wana nyima kazi, mwenye walikuwa wamemseclude, now she's now back and she's now ready to face on society fully and just get that bit of negativity away from her. So I think it was very necessary for him to do that. Ange ignore tu kama amemshika na jua powers left ni angemuignore tu, like endelee tu kusonga mbele, but he felt the need to just proclaim that and just give this woman the attention and let her just live her life normally within society. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So hapa Jesus was for everybody.
Yeah.
Kuna vile tunafikiriaga like Christianity is for a group of people with like tuko tuna mastigmas too mingi squeeze, you know.
Yeah.
Though I'm not trying. So there's something that they say that we don't embrace the sin, but we embrace the sin. Yesu ana ubaguzi. Here at Focus Studios hatuna ubaguzi, tunawapenda nyinyi wote, you know. But kama mnafanya vitu mbaya tutawapoint, guys, we will point you out. So, is it a curable disease? Chupia, I think also the leading cause haijulikani pia as at now.
So do you think it's something that is curable? Because the most relatable issue that this lady had to the society today, new congenital fibroid. So do you think it's something that can be cured?
Yes, as per now, but back in the days it would be very hard.
Oh, very nice.
So you can have medical therapy, surgery, or radiological intervention. Do I have to get into those drugs?
Kuna dawa.
But kuna dawa, kuna dawa. But I always say if you are safe there, you have abnormal. When I say abnormal uterine bleeding, I mean it can be the volume of blood loss is very much. Okay, or the frequency might be altered. You know, you are supposed to have your periods after, say, a month. Then all of a sudden it starts to after every 2 weeks or weekly. So you should it is wise to get medical help. And I feel most people are ashamed to tell their parents about these things. And that should be it shouldn't be the case. You and your parents should be open. You should talk to your parents. If you have a problem, don't suffer where you are up. No. It is not advisable, because it is curable, and the earlier the better. Because it might be something, let's say a malignancy. Then you wait until it's too late. Big, so the earlier the better. So if you see any change or change in frequency or amount of discharge, please, it's wise to consult. Okay, so because there is treatment. Okay, there is treatment.
It has been an amazing experience going through this story with you guys. Haya, sasa Cinnamon, as you give your parting shot now, you're I think you're sijui, lakini kuna blona champion for this sanitary something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you think you can talk about that as we conclude on how we should follow this lady's footsteps. To be honest, I think I will.
Okay. So yes, I'm a member of RESPECT, which stands for Reproductive and Sexual Health Program for Kenyan teenagers. So what we stand for is RESPECT. We advance sexual, reproductive and health and rights for young people, the youth generally, in various settings. So recently we actually had a conference that was from 13th March to 17th. And our main aim was promoting advancing SRHR for young people in accordance to the SDGs. SDGs mahali, so SDGs 17 everyone is talking about. So yeah, what we do, we normally go to schools, high schools to be specific, and just educate these young people on their sexual reproductive health and rights, and we're able to give them that education. Even as we were growing up, Sahi, I think we're still victims of that. Is nobody ever really talks to us about directly these things about sex, about our menstrual hygiene. Even when we were in high school, even primary, I remember we used to be segregated. Maboy wanakaa kando, madem wanakaa kando, tunaongeleshwa hivi, tunaongeleshwa hivi. But now what we do is we bring these people together. We talk about menstruation, we talk about hygiene, we talk about healthy sexual behaviors among young people, so that they can be able to make informed decisions. The whole cases of teenage pregnancies, the rise of HIV/AIDS infection, which is on the high right now in Kenya. So we want to curb that, and we want to raise these young people and become champions, so that they can speak for themselves in matters sexuality and sexual education. Also the bit aspect on gender equality. We want you as a man to openly talk about gender equity, and just talk about the whole discrimination women are facing in the workplace, at school, at home. And that is what we're all about. And yeah, we want these discussions going forward. Engage with us. Definitely. And if you want to talk about it, you can follow us on our platforms.
Yeah, you can tell them.
Our platforms are at respect_KD. and that's where we get to.
That's on Instagram or Twitter?
Sorry, Instagram, Twitter,
Everywhere.
Facebook, LinkedIn, kila mahali we're there. So yeah, engage with us, and we hope to have these discussions. And I think this Bible story really talks out, because we talk about gender equality and the whole patriarchal society. And the bit of challenging power and privilege in our various settings. So we want to educate people on that, on these issues that we are facing, so that they are not propagators of the same narratives, and they can openly debate these things.
Being the change you want to.
Being the change you want to be,
nice one.
So starts with you. Thank you for having me in this discussion. It's really been fun, and we hope to be here for the consecutive episodes. Cutting short, this story we have read and we have really dissected is a very moving story for me, because in the sense that when we look at this woman, she had the authentic faith, though it was really a bit imperfect, because she didn't have like the full picture of who Jesus is, but God really reaches out at our point of need, and he responds to that authentic but yet imperfect faith. And that's what we need to cling on to as Christians. We need to have the courage to boldly approach the throne of God, and he'll give us that grace. There's this verse, I don't know in Ghana nasemanga, but without faith it is impossible to please God. So our daily prayer as Christians is for us to God to give us the courage and the strength to go through our situations and still have that faith in him, and being able to trust in his word, to trust that even at the end of this I just feel the need to put this meme somewhere.
It's okay. We quote memes actually.
It was like a Twitter saying that why does the light have to be at the end of the tunnel? See, it can just be next to me. But God really wants us to refine us and to build us and to help us be good Christians. So we really have to go. Life isn't easy. So our faith journey really also has to be faced with obstacles and a lot of blocks to just hinder us, but God is giving us the assurance and giving us the courage to face these obstacles. So we just have to really trust in his word and rely on his promises, so that he can really come through for us. So that is my prayer to you guys, and to also me, that we can be able to keep the faith and move on strong. Amen.
Yeah. So Wallace, umeshikashika vitu ngapi hapa kwa historia, as you give your parting shot?
At first I've realized that the woman went through a lot first. So the same is happening in our society. So there is the stigma. So I always say one thing: accept what you can't change. There are some things which we can't change, but change what you can't accept. So we cannot accept that women are being stigmatized because they are fertile. No, we shouldn't do that. Okay, but there are some things which we can't change, like if our ancestors stigmatized them, that we can't change, but we have to change what we can't accept. We can't accept them to be treated in this way and this way, so we have to help them. Okay, they are our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, so we should help them, and they should reach out if they have a problem. Okay, so don't feel like it's wrong. No, it's not wrong, it's natural. So if you have a problem, you should reach out. Have that boldness as the woman had, even to go to the crowd and touch the garment. Reach out. Okay, so you should reach out to parents, guardians, or even medical. If you aren't comfortable with that, I know you know a hospital. Go and explain your situation. Okay, so that's what I can say. And faith is very important, because you can see faith is what made the woman to be whole again. Okay, and she was healed. You know, doctors cure people, but she was healed to be whole again. Okay. So I think we should also be faithful.
Now guys, it's been real. Sijui kama enjoy, and so far najua umekuza subscribe, na kama tumefika saa hizi na uja subscribe, my guy, wacha bana, finya subscription as we close out. So Wallace akona a YouTube channel, medical content. Make sure ume subscribe, ndio tutaweka link hapa kwa description. Alafu sina mnupe na Instagram yako.
Akimande, I forgot.
Bana, hebu pia na Instagram.
So Instagram, I think you'll just find me on every social media, just Cinnamon Nyagaka. Yeah, I'm a very simple person. So cheers.
Instagram.
Instagram yako?
Instagram I chege_wa_munyeri. Chege wa munyeri.
Chege wa munyeri. That's the right way to put it, guys. Yes, so nikosho mmeshika imewabamba bana, wekini hapo comments to nataka tupige next, and it's quite evident that we'll be having these doctors here again on the show. It's been real. So make sure umefuata our sponsors, umesubscribe, vitu zinaendelea kwa sawa hapa Refocus Media. Vitu zinaendelea, nimesema media leo, actually it's a media, but Refocus Studios bana, vitu zinaendelea kusmile. God is faithful and we give all our thanks to you, our dear viewer. Sako hayo mengi tunaweza sema, unaambianaga je bye wewe, how do you salute?
How do you sign out?
Una sign out aje?
Badaye.
Guys, badaye. Sorry.
Just bye. See you in the next episode.
Amesema tu bye. Just bye. And as always, do it, my guys. And we go see you, church.